Good day, everyone. Today, I will explain how money, banks, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and the government work together during an economic crisis. I will also discuss how these affect individuals, businesses, communities, and our country's economy. So, real life scenario. So, like this situation. Imagine another pandemic or economic crisis happens. Many businesses temporarily close. Workers lose their jobs. Families struggle to buy necessities. Prices of some goods increase. Businesses need financial support. So let's imagine that another economic crisis occurs similar to COVID-19. Many people lost their jobs or lose their jobs, businesses earn less, and families have difficulty paying for food, rent, and bills. So during this time, banks, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and the government all have important roles in helping the economy recover. So, money and banking. So what is money? Money is used to buy goods and services, save for the future, and pay debts. So let's talk about the role of banks. So banks help people save money, borrow money through loans, transfer money, invest and grow businesses. So, like for example, a small business owner borrows money from a bank to keep the business operating during difficult times. So, money allows us to buy what we need every day. Banks keep our money safe and lend money to people and businesses. And during an economic crisis, many businesses rely on bank loans so they can continue operating and keep their employees. So, let's talk about the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or the BSP. So the role of BSP, or Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So the BSP is the central bank of the Philippines, or Philippines. Its responsibilities include keeping inflation under control, maintaining stable prices, supervising banks, managing the country's money supply. So, those are the responsibilities of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So, the goal of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is a stable economy with controlled inflation. So, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or BSP, is responsible for keeping our financial system stable. If prices rise too quickly, the BSP takes action to control inflation so that people can still afford basic goods. So now let's talk about monetary policy. So what is monetary policy? Monetary policy is how the BSP controls the money supply and interest rates. So during a crisis, lower interest rates, loans become cheaper, people borrow and spend more, businesses invest more jobs are created. If inflation is high, raise interest rates, borrowing becomes more expensive, spending decreases, inflation slows down. So the BSP changes interest rates depending on the economy. So when businesses need help, it lowers interest rates so borrowing becomes more easier. But if prices become too high, the BSP raises interest rates to reduce spending and control inflation. So let's talk about the fiscal policy. So what is fiscal policy? Fiscal policy is how the government uses taxes, government spending, and during a crisis. So during a crisis, the government may build roads and hospitals, give financial assistance, support education and healthcare, create employment programs, and those are the what the government can do during a crisis. So, Philippine example. So, like for example, in the Philippines, so during the COVID-19, the government provided financial assistance to many Filipino families. So, unlike the BSP, the fiscal policy is managed by the government. During difficult times, the government spends money on public services and financial assistance to help families and businesses recover. So, let's talk about the budget deficit and public debt. So, budget deficit occurs when government spending is greater than government income. Then public debt is money borrowed by the government to recover the deficit. So the advantages are funds important projects, supports economic recovery, create jobs. So the disadvantages are interest payments increase, future taxpayers may carry the burden, too much debt can affect the economy. So sometimes the government spends more than it collects in taxes. So this creates a budget deficit to continue providing services. It may borrow money, creating public debt. Borrowing can help during emergencies, but too much debt can become a problem in the future. So, what are the effects on everyone? So, it affects individuals, uh, better access to loans, more jobs, for individuals rather. So, what are the effects on individuals? So, better access to loans, more job opportunities, stable prices. And to businesses, easier to borrow capital, more customers, business expansion. Then to communities, better infrastructure, improved public services, more employment. And the national economy, economic growth, controlled inflation, and financial stability. So these policies affect everyone. So families benefit from the jobs and stable prices. Businesses can expand through loan, and communities receive better public services. So overall, the economy becomes stronger and more stable. So to conclude that, let's say that banks help people save and borrow money. The BSP controls inflation through monetary policy. The government supports the economy using fiscal policy. The budget deficit may lead to public debt. And responsible economic policies promote growth and stability. So when banks, the BSP, and the government works together responsibly, they help protect people's lives, businesses, and the Philippine economy during challenging times. So to include all that, money and banking, monetary policy, fiscal policy, budget deficits, and public debt are all connected. So during an economic crisis, these tools help stabilize the economy, protect jobs, and support businesses and families. So understanding these concepts helps us appreciate how economic decisions affect our everyday lives. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.